Hi everyone. So today we're looking at the simple principles of a pop-up card. So here we have Happy Christmas to all, a village scene, and then to all a good night, and the village scene inside. So people get confused where they're doing pop-ups, but this is a simple way of doing it. So we're not going to worry too much about measurements or anything. We're going to take a card to start with, and it's easiest if we go to a tent fold. So the fold at the top, I've got some scenery here, which is just like a snowy scene. So I'm going to take that and pop it onto a contrast. So the front of the card we're going to make a little bit more decorative. Now, I'm not giving you measurements. Okay, so I'm going to simply put that down, and I'm giving myself a fair amount of a room outside. So I'm now going to take my ruler. Now, this ruler has a metal edge, and I often use that as a guide where to cut. So I can just see a faint sparkly line down there. So I'm cutting down there, make sure that that is cut through, because this is quite a thick sparkly card. Again, I'm putting it on and I'm adjusting it so I can just see a tiny sparkle showing through. Turn it round. This means that you can work with whatever size card you've got. You're not reliant on a set of measurements. So adjust it to exactly what you want. If there's hairs caught there. There we go. Right, so we have our front there, and I'm going to pop that onto the front of my card. Now, I haven't left much of a border of white around my card. So what I'm going to do is to fold these back so that they're folded just at right angles so I can just get to them. So I want a piece. So the only glue I've got exposed is the two opposite corners. So let's go back to here. I can then place that on there, get it nice and straight. And if I want to move it later, I can do, because I haven't committed myself here. So that is the only bits that are glued down at the moment. So I hold it in place and pull all of my little tabs out. And now it's firmly stuck exactly where I wanted it. Okay, so there's our front. Now we're going to look at the inside of the card. And again, I've got the same scene, and I'm going to put one up there, but I can't put that there because it'll look odd with the snow in two places. So I turn it round, and that will give me, when I've got this closed, a bank of snow in the middle. So we can use the same technique here. This hasn't got a border all the way around it. So I take that out. I want to stick this on this panel. So if I take it now and go up that way, so I've got it face down, I can make sure it's in the right place, butt it up against the fold here, and then just fold it down. There is my snow bank in the middle. Now I can do this exactly the same way but in reverse. I'm going to cover this. Now at the moment I can move it around, line it up with the crease again. There, and then when I'm ready, fold that down. Excuse me. And when I open it, it's perfectly arranged on there. Okay, so now we have to look at the actual pop-up piece of it. So I have some pieces of card here, just odd pieces and no particular measurement at the moment. And what I want to look at is the bits that I need down as my pop-up. So I'm going to take my pieces out here. I've got a large tree, some rabbits, and I've got some more trees here. Now we need to find something on the front of my card. So I think I'm going to take this piece, which has got 3 trees on it. Let's see what that looks like. I think we're going for that one. So I'm going to have that with my trees on the front, and I think I'm going to choose 2 rabbits. Let's just see what I've got. This is going to form my pop-ups in the middle, so I need to be aware of what I can use on the front and the inside. I think we're going to go for those, but I think I'm going to just lift them slightly with a couple of sticky fixers. So one behind there and one behind there. It's card that I'm using, so I don't need too many sticky fixers because it will hold on its own. And I'm just going to bring them so that the ears are crossing this straight line, and this is just going into the tree. So there is my front of my card. We'll do the wording later. Open that up, and then let's see what I've got. The first one I want to fit in is this main tree with rabbits. So I'm going to take my piece of card and I'm going to mark with a pencil down there because I want to make a box section for this to go on. So I don't want it showing. So I'm going to take that. Again, no measurements because we're going purely by what you have in your craft stash. I want you to be able to use your bits at home, not go out and buy something special. So I'm bringing in my scoreboard, and now I have to work out how far I want this piece to come out. And I think I'm going to have it coming out about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to score at 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, and I want a little bit extra. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now you could do 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. So I'm going to fold all those through, and before I do any cutting off, I'm going to put my double-sided tape on there and snip. That's going to make my tab to join it together. So I should now be able to fold that in, fold that over, and I've made my little box section. Snip a tiny bit off there. There is my little box section. This is my join here. So I'm going to put double-sided tape on either side of the join. I'm going to take one off, and that's going to be my bottom piece I fit on. So the same way as we worked before, I'm putting that on so I can freely move it about wherever I want, place it into my fold, and then I can fold down when I'm ready. Open it out and it's now in exactly the right place. Take this piece off and fold that down. So now there is my box section that will form the pop-up. I'm going to put that to one side for the moment. We will come back to it. And let's see what I've got. Right, this was the piece that we measured. And now when I put that on there, nobody can see the box section on the back. All they see is the pop-up. So I'm placing double-sided tape on there. And I can now make sure my tree is upright. There we go. So there is the first part of my pop-up. Right. Now, I've got a rabbit, a couple of trees here, one with 2 and one with 1. So I'm going to make another box section that will come out a little less, but I'm going to have it a little bit higher. So this piece will be fine. That will be, I can trim it down a little bit because I can just see that behind there. Now, the last one came out 1 inch or 2.5. So I'm going to move that there. Right. So I don't want it to come out so far. So I'm going to go 1.5. So that is the base where it will come out. 1.5. I want it to come up 2.5, the same height as that. So 4, another 1.5, and another 2.5. So it's half, 1, 2. There. I will show you a simple way of doing it at the end. So chop that off. It's a little bit large. Right, so I've got a short piece, long piece, short piece, long piece. Fold it in half. So there is my little box. Now I want you to just see that is how I planned it. so it won't come out as far as this. But look at that. If I go there, that is almost right for my little rabbit or another tree. So going with that one because I want to set it back. So again, take the one with the join on there. And I'm now going to place this into there very gently and then close it down. There is my next one in place, and we're going to use the bigger trees on this one. So I'm going to place double-sided tape and that is going. You can get your finger in behind. There we go. So there we have our two trees. Right, now the rabbit, I want to bring forward a little bit from there. So I'm just going to have a 1 centimetre bit because my rabbit isn't very high. So I'm going to go scoring tool. If you were doing inches, this could be 1/2 inch. Go. And I'm putting that in place there. Now I'm just going to cut off so I've got my tab. And this one is going to give me a piece that's too big. But let's see what we do with it. Fold that in. Now, there I have my 1 centimetre box that is going to go in front of my trees. I only need a small bit, so I'm cutting that. And there's my join. Putting a couple of pieces of tape on there. I've overlapped them because it is a small area. There we go. Tuck any odd bits in. Right. So I'm going to place that on the floor up against my trees. So I fixed floor bit down. Now I'm going to do that, and there is my next piece fitted in there. I need that. So let's take our little rabbit. Now I want my rabbit to be nice and firmly fixed. So I'm just going to give him a little bit straighter edge at the bottom. Lovely. Now I have only got 1 centimetre for it to stick to, so I'm placing that on there and I'm folding that back. So now I have just a small area. Just going to roll that back. So I don't want sticky where there's nothing. Now we're going to fix the rabbit onto there. So now we have our main tree. We've got the trees further back, and I've brought forward the third rabbit onto here. Okay, we've got one Christmas tree left, and I'm going to have that right in the background. Now, if you remember, we cut this piece in half, so I have a little box frame there. Let's find the join. I'm going to use this to make the tree come out towards the back of the card. Once you get the idea of just putting boxes in, you can build up all sorts of designs. I'm going to slide that in. I want it against the back, and before I fix anything, I'm just making sure that box is fixed and I can press it down. Now I'm going to take my double-sided tape Don't forget you've only got a small area to stick to because it was a 1 centimetre piece of card. Place that on and then I can get into the background and press that. Let's make sure that stands up. Now it's all done and I can firmly press all my bits. There we go. Now I can take that out the way. Right, so there is my scene. I've got the rabbit in front, then my tree, then this one, then that one. And there, if I turn them round, you can see the little box sections. Okay, so make your box sections any width you want, height you want, just to suit what you have. Now I have done, I can reach over. This is product that is a clear like a clear acetate, but it's a matte finish, and you can print onto it, cut away the background, and we're going to have that on there. So if I peel it off, it then becomes transparent. And let's make sure it goes behind the tree. And then you just need to take your bone folder or scissors or something and just burnish it down so that the air pockets disappear and it becomes part of the background. There we go. So we've got Happy Christmas to all, and done another sheet which is and to all a good night. Now I want you to see a mistake that I've made. I'll just finish cutting these. Right, I've got an extra full stop just between the and the to. So instead of wasting my piece of paper, which they work out about £1 a sheet, so you obviously print as much as you can on there. Right. So I've got to have that up there, I think. I've now cut that out. Nobody will know any different. Peel that off. And I'm going to bring that over as much as I can. There we go. Place that in and burnish down with my bone folder. You want something nice and smooth so you don't damage your print. Okay, so let's have a look. we have Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. There is my decoupage. I've used a bit on the outside from 2 sets. Open it up, and we've got 4 different layers of pop-up, and that's all come from making where's my pieces of card gone? There they are. So it doesn't matter what you want to do. I'll turn this over and just use the inches side if you like. So I could then do 1 inch. I could do 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and leave myself a flap to join. Just needs trimming, that's fine. So there is 1 box piece. Now, if I did one now, I don't know whether this is long enough. 1 inch, 1.5, 2.5, 3. So I have a large one, a small one, large one, small one, and a jointing piece. So just rock them backwards and forwards, trim off anything you have. Now I'm just going to bring in just a blank card, and I think I have, I'll try and find a coloured one for you. And I'm going to turn this on so you can, it shows up better on the video. So here is my 1 inch square one. Find the join, because we're trying to put the join in next to the fold. Just makes a stronger bond. So I'm now going to pop that into there, fold it down, and there is one. Now I want to show you this bit. We've got 2 different sizes, so we've got a short edge and a long edge. Now if I fold that in half and cut that, once you understand the principle of how to make your pop-ups, which is easy, you can make it do entirely anything you like. So now I'm coming onto there. I can put that one in place and fold it down. And I can use this one. And because it's thin, I can go right over that fold. Right, so you can see this one and this one were exactly the same box that we made. I've stood this one up and I've put this one down. So this will come out at all different sizes and angles. Now what I've got here to the side, I've got some little angels. Right, so let's just pop her onto that side. Let's take her and put her onto that side. She's only got a small bit to stand up against. So we'll tuck her into there. And I haven't got a third angel, but we could find something to easily put onto there. So there you can see this one and this one were from the same square box that we made. And this one is from a double height there. So 1 inch, 1 inch. This was 1/2 inch by 1 inch. And this was 1/2 inch by 1 inch, but turned the other way. So do have a go at trying a pop-up. And even if you just have one item popping up in the middle, then that's fine. And then you can work your way through adding 2 and 3 and loads to fill. All right, so we will do a slightly more advanced one over the next few weeks, and we will show how we can get bits coming all the way down to here, filling that card. So when you open it, there's a whole display coming forward. But have a go at this first. Get used to the technique of making your little boxes, and then we'll take it a little bit further. God bless. Enjoy.